Good evening and thank you for watching ABC for Utah. I'm Kim Johnson. Now to the latest on Edward Snowden, a man many U.S. officials are calling a threat to the United States. Utah Senator Mike Lee is making a last-ditch effort to try to stop the Affordable Health Care Act in its tracks. Kohl's is on a 111-hour marathon, staying open for 5 days. Who is the nation's most popular governor? Well, it turns out ours is. It was at a tree in a forest, and let me just say that tree was probably the safest thing in the forest because I didn't come close to hitting it.
Sorry about that, Kim.
Well, you know, guys, things could be worse. I mean, I could be a Chiefs fan.
I just said you had my condolences, Kim.
Hey, I had to come back at you with something. We are following breaking news out of the ABC4 newsroom. Out of the Park City area, several evacuations are in place. We have established a live look tonight. As you can see, flames are burning out of control. We know fire crews are evaluating the fire's proximity to homes in the area, but have not started evacuating anyone yet. We understand that there are no outstanding suspects at this time that police are looking for, so it's unclear why they're asking residents to stay in their homes on 4th Street. Might have something to do with not tampering any evidence.
Some fresh
air.
You
noticed
what a great
it, right?
Day. Yeah, Kylie, you need to pat yourself on the back over there.
It was
High five,
so
girl.
good. High five. To go through these thick brick walls. But 911 dispatchers rely on GPS signals, which are weaker and have higher frequency. And just like this ball, bounces back. John Bassereer is reluctant to share his story. It's so painful. He'd prefer to not talk about it at all. But what he and those few surviving members of his battery lived through one December day in 1944 is part of American history. And he's sharing it with us tonight to honor those who never could.
Every time I talk about the war, I get upset.
It's a time John Bassereer would rather forget.
I mean, we grew up with the word Malmedy, you know, because we knew that was something we didn't talk about.
His story begins in 1943 when young Bassereer volunteered to go to war.
A lot of us that enlisted did so because the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor.
But his tour took him to Europe just in time for the bloodiest battle in U.S. history. Battle of the Bulge, a major German offensive during a snowy winter.
It almost snowed steadily during the whole month of December.
The snowy skies prevented Allied forces from getting air support. The death toll mounted.
There was a line of what looked like timber, 50, 100 foot long, and it was piled about 8 foot high. And those were dead soldiers. It was terrifying.
But for Bassereer, the terror of war was only beginning. The day was December 17th. Malmedy, Belgium. The Nazis changed the direction of the road signs, leading Bassereer's battery down a deadly path.
We could see these Tiger tanks coming right down the road toward us. The German soldier took his pistol out and shot our guy right in the eyes.
The Germans forced the rest of the GIs into a field.
All of a sudden they dropped their all doors and machine gunned us, killed us. They kept machine gunning until nobody else was standing, and then they went through, and anybody that was still alive or groaning or anything, they shot him in the back of the head.
Bassereer played dead, hiding under his comrades' bodies. Out of nearly 100 men in the field that day, he was one of the few who lived.
It turned out to be 19 of us that were still alive.
The men waited for the Germans to leave, then ran for the woods, where they spent 2 cold nights with no weapons, food, or proper clothing.
I have had nightmares about that, waking up freezing and losing my feet.
But Bassereer, now an 89-year-old man, is finding new ways to heal. He was invited on Utah's first honor flight to visit the World War II Memorial in D.C.
A great tribute to so many Americans that gave up their lives for.
After years of pain, the memorial serves as a reminder.
It just made you feel like your whole life had been worthwhile.
Of what it all was for.
Oh, yeah, betcha.
I've never been this heavy before, and I wanted to lose weight.
Connie Hart's fight to be thin has been a never-ending one.
It's been an up and down battle.
But the Davenport woman thought she finally won the battle when she decided to give something new a try.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Connie lost 45 pounds in just 40 days on human chorionic gonadotropin, otherwise known as HCG, a fertility hormone produced in women's placentas and found in pregnant women's urine. The hormone is supposed to suppress your appetite so you can function off the required 500-calorie-a-day diet.
Because 500 calories is not that much. Was that enough for you to sustain energy?
Yeah, I was fine. We need to redo that one.
But the HCG diet alone was not enough for Connie to keep it off. And less than a year later, she gained back all 45 pounds.
Rapid weight loss equals rapid weight gain.
Dr. Margaret Millar, a sports medicine physician in Moline, says not only is HCG an ineffective way to get healthy, it's also dangerous.
Risk factors are huge.
Risk such as gallstone formation, electrolyte imbalance, and heart arrhythmias. Reasons why in December, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration banned the sale of all over-the-counter HCG products marketed for weight loss in all stores across the country.
Do you guys carry any HCG at all?
HCG?
Yeah.
But in a News 8 hidden camera investigation, we found stores in the Quad Cities are still selling HCG. One retailer even admitting it's illegal.
We took it off the market.
Another not only says it's banned,
It's technically you're not supposed to sell it, but I can still sell it to you.
but has to leave the room to get the hidden HCG.
Actually, I have to go back and grab it.
A spokesperson for GNC insists their products labeled as HCG don't actually have the hormone in it. But look at the label and listen to what the employee tells our undercover photographer.
You guys have HCG?
Yeah, we do.
The FDA says it's only a matter of time before Quad City stores selling HCG face consequences.
Firms that do not correct the violations or stop selling these products may face enforcement action, possible legal penalties, or criminal prosecution.
Though the federal government is clear, all over-the-counter HCG products marketed for weight loss are banned. Not all believe it. Why are you still selling HCG when the FDA says it's illegal to?
Well, the FDA did not cite the company that we get our HCG from. So we were not afraid of it anymore. So we're only selling what we have left, and we have very few bottles left.
The FDA may be cracking down on HCG sold in stores, but remains hands off at some doctors' offices, which is where people like Connie Hart are legally getting the stuff at $150 for the prescribed injections.
Even in the studies with the injectable stuff, it's never been shown to definitively cause fat loss.
If HCG doesn't help weight loss, why are doctors prescribing it?
Because it's big business.
We wanted to ask Connie's doctor, Moline's Dr. Elish Karani, why he is prescribing HCG for weight loss. After he canceled one interview with News 8, Dr. Karani refused to answer our questions.
Dr. Karani? I'm Kim Johnson. We spoke on the phone. Do you mind if I have a moment of your time? I'd like to ask you some questions.
This diet is fine. Because if it wasn't fine, why would doctors prescribe it?
Connie is sticking by her doctor, the injections, and the 500-calorie-a-day diet. After all, she says it helped her drastically shed pounds once before, which is why, despite the warnings and her failed attempt to keep weight off the first time, Connie is giving HCG another shot.
The injections gave me the hope, and I'm going to succeed at this time.
As the FDA begins pouring their resources into banning these pills.
Illinois, it's 200 feet, which is about this far back. In fact, this is the exact corner. There's 5 cameras total on the bus, one in the front, one on the side, and one facing the rear to catch drivers from all angles. You could find yourself on a pitch black trail if you're not prepared.
Yeah, when you think big party, think Republican headquarters in Utah on election night, right? Because so many of their candidates are expected to sweep their races. I want to give you a quick look around the room. Well, we know Wesley is a cyclist, so let's see if he's wearing his spandex today. Wondered what your favorite news anchors do during the commercial breaks. For us, it's all business, right? I mean, there's nothing goes on, really. Right. The smart TV, but a simple fix as a Post-it over
or
the
a piece
camera.
of tape, duct tape. comes to the rescue all the time,
You'd
right?
think they'd think of something a little bit better if you're paying all that money for it, but whatever works. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon and then some. This is a big whoops moment. Turns out the actor is related to his wife of 23 years.
Turns out Kevin Bacon and his wife of 23 years now, Kira Sedgwick, are related.
Yeah, how awkward would that be? Hey, honey, we're related. Nice to see you interviewing some of the male volleyball players. So, Curtis, I was beginning to wonder if there were any out there with all the ladies you've been talking to.
Yeah, you know, it happens.
It happens, sure. Earlier, I wanted to ask you about social media because we know that it's playing such a role in this year's conference. So many people are tweeting and Facebooking. What's the kind of buzz that you've seen out there?
Aspects of our life.
Yeah, it'll definitely help keep the conversation going even after the conference is over. Okay, Glenn, thanks so much for your reporting.